After the 6 very good Rob McGregor novels and the 2 pretty bad Martin Caidin novels, we now start the run of the third author, Max McCoy, who wrote 4 books, and those are the final 4 books in the entire Bantam Indiana Jones series. And his first book is Indiana Jones and the Philosopher's Stone. I had 2 thoughts going into this. First off, it's a new author, so I don't know what to expect. I'm hoping for something better than Martin Caidin. And second, it's short. And that's a big selling point. Indiana Jones novels shouldn't be longer than like 280 pages max. And Martin Caidin's books were like 340, and that's just not good. It's similar to the Indy movies, like 2 hours, tops, that's it. Don't need to be any longer than that. But okay, let's quickly go over the story of Philosopher's Stone. Not much to say. I don't want to spoil. So basically, Indy is on the hunt for a manuscript which has a bunch of hints that can lead to the Philosopher's Stone, which is capable of just turning everything into gold. And some bad guys are after it, the fascist Italians are after it. And Indy basically gets forced into the adventure by the US government. He's teaming up with the sister of the guy who found the manuscript, owned it, and, worked on it. And that's as far as I will go. This book is great. This is a return to form for the series, honestly, especially after Martin Caidin, but this book feels like an Indiana Jones adventure. I can see this playing out on screen perfectly fine. It's fast-paced, the characters are on point, the love interest is interesting and something different, the villains are nice, not the greatest ever, but they are pretty good, and overall, yeah, this book succeeds, and I think there's one reason. I noticed this right away. We have a prologue that's pretty much unrelated, but it introduces us to the main villain, which is an Italian guy working for Mussolini. And he steals an artifact from Indy, like at the side, which obviously that's just Raiders of the Lost Ark, directly. And the rest of the book, it's a similar structure. We get the opening scene, which is relatively unrelated, but it introduces us to the main villain, Indy searching for some random MacGuffin. And then we get the main story. Indy is supposed to help the government because this terrible country is searching for a artifact that can make them all powerful. In this case, it's not the Nazis and Hitler looking for the Ark of the Covenant. Here it's Mussolini and his guys looking for the Philosopher's Stone. I like this a lot, especially after the 2 Martin Caidin books, which were so different, especially his first one, The Sky Pirates, which didn't feel like an indie adventure at all. Philosopher's Stone just really nails the tone and the character and the action and the pacing. It's all there. And what's also in here, which I found very interesting, I'm gonna spoil it a little bit, there is a cameo from one movie character in here near the end, which I didn't expect. So that was fun. We also obviously get the return of Marcus Brody, who was absent for the last 2 books by Caidin. So that's also fun. But honestly, almost the best thing in here is the prologue and the epilogue. So the prologue, like I said, it's basically just like the Raiders one, random adventure, random artifact, just setting up the rival bad guy to Indy. In this case, it's the Italian guy. But the artifact that Indy is going after and that the Italian guy steals from him is a goddamn female crystal skull. Which gets mentioned throughout the rest of the story because Indy is pissed that he stole it, the Italian. And then at the end, Indy tries to steal it back after the main story is over. But the crystal skull has been stolen by someone. We don't know who. It's basically a cliffhanger. And I've heard this is like a side story throughout all 4 Martin Caidin books. So I'm excited for this, honestly. This is really fun. So in total, Indiana Jones and the Philosopher's Stone by Max McCoy. It's absolutely great. It's so much fun. If you only want to read a limited amount of indie novels by Bantam, my top 3 so far would be Genesis Deluge by Rob McGregor, Interior World by Rob McGregor, and now Philosopher's Stone by Max McCoy. It's an highlight of the series, in my opinion. And it really made me want to continue with the next one, Indiana Jones and the Dinosaur Eggs.